going to have a look at the banking tab and how we match payments going out and money coming in to the system. So there's a couple of ways you can get things on there, and we've gone through that separately in the previous module, and that's connecting to your bank or uploading the CSV file. Now, once you've got the items on here, so for example, this is the current account, and then we've got the credit card here, so we can actually match these two items on the system, or we can enter other items on there. So if you can see here, there's a ATM deposit on the 12th of March for £480, and it's suggesting that this is for invoice number 1012, dated the 12th of March for Jordan Burgess, and the same for this one, 1,800, it's suggesting the one to Adwin Co. Now, given that I know that these are quite irregular amounts, I would say that this is correct, and you'll know your own business when you go to do that. So I can just click on match, and the same with that one. Now here there's a received deposit of 8,760, which is not sure at the moment what it's for. Now what you can do is you can click on it, you can click find match. Okay, and the only outstanding item at that point was one for 960 for Benjamin Young. So it doesn't look like it's that one. So it's either an invoice that should have been raised that hasn't been raised, or for example, it might have been a prepayment on account, and you can add that separately, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now there's some payments out here, so parking, restaurants, email service, IT, business card, check purchase. A lot of these on here that haven't actually got any matches for invoices already on the system. Now, if you've been keeping on top of your bookkeeping, that won't have happened, but you might end up in that way if you get a little bit behind. Now, what you can do is you can't add it directly from this screen, so there's a couple of options for you. If you have a VAT receipt, then obviously it's always best to upload it, but there is a bit you can add an attachment to there, or you can do it afterwards. I'm just going to choose one, say for example Air Express, because that normally won't have VAT on there. So if it's a flight, which I'm assuming it is, I'm going to go to Air Express, click on add, come up to confirm that I'm adding a new supplier. The category I'm going to choose is travel, and this will be 0 rated for VAT. I do it for travel product expenses, no, because not always. I'm not going to have 0 VAT on this. I'm just going to click on add. For example, parking, if you know that your parking is VAT, you've got a VAT receipt for that, and you want to upload it afterwards, you can put it on there. So I'm just going to say it is NCP, for example. Add that. Again, travel expenses. This one I'm going to put it as 20% VAT. Now, just a reminder that for the majority of VAT items, you are going to need a VAT invoice, or going to have to be able to produce a VAT invoice or receipt if HMRC come to you with a VAT query, with a VAT investigation. However, for parking under £25, if you know that that parking place is VAT registered, you can put the ones under £25 through without a copy of the receipt. I'm just going to say that you've got a copy here, and it's going to add the attachment afterwards. So I'm going to put it through with the VAT on there. Okay, things like restaurants, we can go through. Again, just say we can pretend that we've got a copy of this. So I don't know where this is going to be. I'm going to say this is a Beefeater. And let's pretend we've got the copy of the receipt, and it is 20% VAT. Again, we would actually need a copy there that we know that we're going to have. This one has been set up as a rule for business license and permits with 20% VAT. It's probably that they have a copy of the invoice every month, which is why it's been set up. If you know that you are going to be able to kind of pull that off, without query, if it came up, you can set up a rule, but I don't normally advise it. I do normally advise getting the bill onto the system if you can do. So I'll go through setting up rules in a minute. What we can do, if we need one of these, I'm just going to pretend one of these isn't actually what it says it is. If one of these was a transfer between accounts, you can change this expense to transfer and choose the account it's going to and click add. I'm not going to do that at the moment. Okay, so to do rules, on here at the top, you've got a rules section. Okay, so I'm going to do a new rule here, as an example, called parking for money out. So when the transaction meets this term, the bank text contains, I'm going to say parking, but it could be anything. It's not always going to say parking. You could say, it could be say NCP or just park or anything like that. And it's going to create an expense transaction with the title, whoever, I'm going to do it NCP because that's who we did before, for travel, tax code to 20%. You have to be careful during to the amount. And then that's fine. You can choose to automatically add to my books. I wouldn't suggest that unless you're very confident with it. And then just click on save. Okay, so if we go back to the banking tab, I'm not sure we had any more parking ones on there. We didn't. Okay, that doesn't help, but that's fine. So what would do is put that one on there. I'm just going to go over to the Visa credit card now. And you've got some supplies depot, coffee place. Again, you would just create these the same as you would there. So coffee place, save for travel, save subsistence for your traveling, 20% VAT because I've got the VAT receipt. And that's it. Just click on add. Again, here we've got one for Jennifer Hargreaves, which is a payment out. It's matched it to an expense that's already been put on the system for around that date for $245.80. So it looks like it's the correct one. So I'm just going to click on match. We don't need to add that as a separate transaction. We've got one here, it says Bank of any city. It's got a check for the 10th, which has come in. So that looks right. So I'm going to click on match. Okay, so that's it. It's pretty easy. If you have ones on there that you want to go back and look, you can just click on reviewed and it tells you which ones you've done. These are the ones that we've just done on there for you. So it's pretty easy. So your aim is to kind of get that all clear before you do the next part, which is reconciling the bank account. So what I would suggest, even if you're using this way of doing it, especially if you've got a bank feed or the CSV file, is to still actually reconcile your account to a statement at least once every 3 months, preferably every month. Now you do that by going to accounts and reconcile. The first time you'll probably see something like that, you just click get started. I'm just going to say maybe later because I know what they're saying. So we're just going to say we're going to do the current account. I'm just going to think up an arbitrary balance here because I know it's not going to match because we haven't got exactly everything on there. And I'm going to say we're reconciling for the month ending 31st of December 2018. Because the last one on there was up to the 2nd of December, as you can see. So I'm going to start reconciling. So what you'll need to do here is have a printout, preferably of your bank statement in front of you. Have a pen or a highlighter, something that you can do. It'll automatically try and tick everything, but just untick it to begin with because it makes it a lot easier, trust me. Okay, so then literally you would go down, find that on the bank statement, tick it, same as the next one, same as the next one. Hopefully if you're having a bank feed, you will not find any differences. That will show as 0. But if it doesn't, then obviously you need to look into why. So there might be payments on here that aren't on your bank statement. And again, you need to look at why that is, if that's the case. But the more common thing is you might have something on the bank statement that's not on the system, and you need to just add that in. It might be that you missed something on the bank feed. Maybe there's been a tech glitch with the bank feed at that point. I had a client's one who, for some reason, their Barclays missed 2 weeks out of their November 18 bank feed, and it got to January and I was reconciling it, and I realised there was 2 weeks out. So I had to get a copy of their bank statement to make sure that everything had gone through okay. So yeah, you basically tick that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tick it, find out what the balance will be, and show you what it looks like if it is all correct. So you see the cleared balance here is 81,844.66. So I'm going to put that figure in there. Save. So if it's all correct, and that is the correct balance on your bank statement, so don't change it just because it's wrong. Only put the balance in as of your bank statement. Obviously, you'll be in no end of trouble. You'll get a nice little tick here that says 0 difference, and you click on finish now, and it'll say success, you have reconciled your account. Gives you a little pat on the back, and then that says last statement ended that date, and you can get on to the next one if you've got another one on there. You can also have a look at history, and that will tell you any bank recs that have been done on that one and any changes that have been made since then. So that's it really. If you have any queries, then let me know. But that is how you reconcile your account and use the bank feed.